A major development today, hundreds of new jobs are expected to be created here in the Ocean State. This comes on the heels of the announcement last week that the Rhode Island clean energy developer Deepwater Wind would build a large offshore wind farm. Eyewitness News reporter Jared Planner has more on the plan, live now from the Mobile Newsroom. Jared.
Yeah, hi there, Michael. Formal announcement right here at the Port of Providence today. Some details provided, others not at this time. Later on expected on how much offshore wind would cost customers. Officials say they will not know that until they negotiate with National Grid. A new ambitious push for offshore wind power.
What today's about is this is a birth of a new industry, and it's happening in Rhode Island.
Local clean energy developer Deepwater Wind forecasting job creation tonight for its up to 50 turbine wind farm in federal leased waters between Block Island and the Vineyard. Over 800 construction jobs, 50 permanent ones, and a $40 million investment in local ports, according to the company. But will the power be affordable for Rhode Island customers? What's already produced from several turbines off Block Island is pricey, 24 cents a kilowatt hour and growing. The governor with this bold prediction.
It's a fraction, less than half.
This project is dramatically larger, right? So with scale, cost comes down, and the technology is just advancing rapidly. The turbines are bigger, they're more efficient.
Grabowski saying the turbine components would be built both in and out of state.
Really significant fabrication and construction activity here, right here in Provport and in Quonset.
A win, Deepwater says, for clean energy, for jobs, for consumers. But what about commercial fishing?
A lot of Rhode Islanders make their living as fishermen, and so we're going to make sure we take their interest into account and do this in a way which protects their livelihood.
But fishing industry advocates are nowhere near convinced and warn a bad fate is coming.
We're swapping a food source and our fishing community for wind power.
Yeah, and plenty more of those concerns coming up new at 6 o'clock. By the way, hopeful construction timeline, the beginning of work by 2020 and possible start of operation 2023. We'll see you next hour. For now, live in Providence, Jared Planner, Eyewitness News.
Tonight, Governor Gina Raimondo and other state officials are touting the hundreds of jobs expected to be created by a new wind farm.
Members of another major Rhode Island industry say the project could threaten their livelihood. Eyewitness News reporter Jared Planner has the new details now live from the Mobile Newsroom. Jared?
Mike, at 5 o'clock, we told you more about this planned farm in federal waters between Block Island and the Vineyard. But as you say, could a fight be brewing with the state's fishermen concerned about the industry's future? Deepwater Wind today forecasting more than 800 construction jobs, 50 permanent ones, and much cheaper wind power than what exists now from its up to 50 offshore turbines planned. The company says this is a win for so many, even for commercial fishermen.
Our turbines are spaced about a mile apart, so there's a lot of room to operate, and fishermen can continue to fish in those waters. But in order for that to work out, we need to work collaboratively with them.
But fishing industry advocates like the Fishermen's Alliance's Richard Fuca are very worried.
We're swapping a food source and our fishing community for wind power.
We already abide by roughly 340 spatial regulations, so we can't just legally relocate.
Plus concern about the destruction of species.
More than half of the squid caught on East Coast has landed in the state of Rhode Island, and you run the very real risk of losing that resource.
We're putting our fishing community at risk by expediting and moving too quickly. We don't know a fraction of all the facts.
The wind farm could be up and running for the first time by the year 2023. The governor today also pledged to work with fishermen on this. They say they want a real seat at the table and a good amount of data. Live in Providence tonight, Jared Planner, Eyewitness News.